See the full animated short at playoverwatch.com.
Fnatic up 1-0 over Synergy as they show us the power of Diablo just being terrifying in those matches and really shutting down the Cassia gameplay from Synergy.
Yeah, very good control around the objective in particular. Always getting the stuns against Cassia, making sure she just does not get that value. We've been talking about the big threat if Cassia is able to drop the damage, especially with the sustain that then Oriel would have for the team.
Yep, they really tried to bring it in there, just did not work out too well as Fnatic just continues to be on another level. This is the #1 seed in Europe, and they continue to show why they're that powerful. Even in a team fight where they missed a Diablo engage into Apocalypse, they just turned around the fight completely and made sure to peel appropriately to make sure they could win every single engagement. So Fnatic continuing to be the top here for Europe. Now, we'll be gearing up for game #2. Synergy did mention that they want to run standard compositions today. Do you think we might see some deviation anyways with us going down 0-1?
I think in the end, it depends very much which map we're going to see now, but I would say they will try and look for Vala again. If they have a good Vala composition with Neon on that hero, I could definitely see them trying to incorporate something that they're really familiar with, and this is probably has been their go-to composition for a really long time.
Well, let's go ahead and head into game #2 here as we set up for the second match in this best-of-5 series. Synergy looking to tie up the series, but Fnatic wanting to close it out 2-out. So which battleground will we choose? I'm assuming it'll be something a little bit on the aggressive side, knowing Synergy, and it will be Tomb of the Spider Queen.
I like that we have Tomb as a map now, because it's one of the maps where we've seen a lot of aggression from Synergy, and it's also a map where they really show their off-picks. They can play with Probius here, they can play Rexa. We have seen Hydra on so many different heroes that he can showcase on that solo lane in particular. Even with a Sonya, for example, trying to play the Sonya on the solo lane, that's something that Hydra has been doing just last week. It worked out really well for the team, and this could be one of the things we're seeing today. So to me, that's the biggest question heading into the map now. Is it going to be the more standard Sonya approach? Or are we all of a sudden seeing something different and Rexa comes into play again?
I mean, I honestly hope it's more Sonya play. The Sonya play we saw last week from Hydra was really on point. They delivered the fight there. They wound up losing the match against the Playing Ducks, but still that bottom lane was heavily in the favor of Synergy due to that Sonya.
It was really solid how he performed on Sonya.
Yeah.
And it's something where we are not really used to see him on that hero, even though he can play it. So it was pretty cool to see that in the HGC environment. And now, as we are going into the next series, the big question here, of course, is also, what are the bans going to be? Are we maybe going to see a Genji at some point? There's still an opportunity that Genji is going to see some play here today. Don't forget about that. Already a ban on the side of Fnatic. They're simply saying, we dealt with your stitches on the last map. Here, we don't want to do that.
Yeah, especially on this battleground. There's a lot of small corridors. And the thing, too, is with it being a short battleground, when you get that hook, you get a kill, you can really run with it. You can get a couple of takedowns on turrets, maybe even grab a fort, especially when you hit the mid to late game. It can be pretty devastating to get hooked out, especially around that turn-in point. So, Stitches now being taken away. Fnatic, though, back to Tomb of the Spider Queen. We mentioned Synergy being great here on this battleground, but this has been one that Fnatic continues to run.
But let's not forget here, when we talk about Stitches, Fnatic probably has also some really bad memories playing against Stitches, since this is the comp that was used against them when they played at the Western Clash versus Dignitas in the final. That didn't go too well, and ever since then, the priority of Stitches on this battleground, on Tomb of the Spider Queen, has just increased.
I mean, I have good memories with Fnatic and that Stitches. You remember Wubby with the great pickoffs, man? Fleabag coming in and really destroying on that map. But regardless, Stitches will not be here. We're going to go back into Greymane, the norm for Fnatic. And now Synergy, to their side, they still have their Ariel/auto attacker available.
Yeah, and now we are coming to that first double pick. And this is where oftentimes we have seen them go into Vala, trying to use Vala in combo with an Oriel or any other double support even to just get that value. And this is the big question now. Are they falling back into the Vala play? Or are we going to see them with a different approach? And then, of course, the second question, as we already posed earlier, what is going to be that bot laner that Hydra is most likely going to use?
I think personally, I would like to see the Oriel into an auto attacker here for Synergy. There it is, so Cassia and Oriel. And then I want to have Johanna later on. for Power of Dream. I feel like when we have Power of Dream on Johanna, he becomes much more effective compared to his Muradin or even his variant to a degree, as he's able to help wave clear, and he's a little bit more confident in the engages, which could be great for Synergy when they have a strong bot laner like Hydra.
To me, it's really interesting to see what they do with that double pick now, because Cassia and Oriel is something they used on the last map, and it's something that they really seem to like, especially considering that Fnatic shut it down. So they have faith in their composition, saying, yes, we failed with it on the last map. This map gives us even more of an advantage because there's more fights happening. So let's just rely upon it again. But as you already said, now we're having things shaking up a bit because Fnatic, they're a pretty cool pick for us.
Is that a pro Genju? We're going to have Genji up in the match here for EU. Our first one here in Europe. Now, it was played in Korea earlier. Not really that successful, but Genji here for Fnatic could be pretty awesome here, as you have both Greymane and Genji. You have finishers out the wahoo.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of Fnatic's Genji play, and it is pretty spectacular. I can tell you that much. It's also very different to see a high-level Genji player in a competitive setup compared to what you normally experience in Hero League.
The death screen.
What?
The death screen. When I play Genji, that's what I experience in Hero League. You were going for a different point, but I had to make sure I got my point in.
I'm usually not on the Genji, so I'm the one who looks at him while he's like, there's a kill. And he just tries to dash in and fails to get the kill.
You're used
no
to
resets,
seeing...
and then...
You're used to seeing the ceiling where you look up in frustration after your Genji goes all in. Like,
Dude, my neck is really killing me these days.
It's had a poor week, your neck. You got a kink there. All right, so Genji, yes, much more passive in competitive play. You're waiting for that full reset or, of course, just to disengage. A lot of the movement will be around his trait, the jump it.
Yeah, did you actually look at the draft screen after Genji?
Oh. Shogal? Okay.
I was wondering why there was no reaction.
We're going to play standard today, Caldor. Here's a Cho'Gall.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Okay, let's break this down for a moment. Cho'Gall is a fantastic pick on maps where, first, the smaller the map or the more focused the map is on a single objective, the better Cho'Gall becomes because you get that value. And always with Cho'Gall, you also want to go into the late game since he has more and more tools that make him harder and harder to kill. So this is a strategy that we have seen in Europe a few times. We have seen mostly Team Expert play with Cho'Gall on the map, but there was a time when also Liquid and other teams picked this hero on Battlegrounds, as for example Infernal Shrines and Tomb of the Spider Queen. So this is a very solid map for Cho'Gall, and I'm pretty hyped to see what exactly Synergy is doing with it. Also, Oriel could go into Resurrect.
And Empathic Link, but yeah, Resurrect changed, so now he can be more effective on Cho'Gall.
Yeah.
This composition for Synergy actually just synergizes completely well here. You have the Cassia, Oriel naturally, you have Empathic Link at 7, you have Resurrect available for the Cho'Gall. This is such a cool draft here for Synergy. How do they die? And if they do die, as you mentioned, Oriel can bring out that heroic.
Well, we're talking about dying, but look what Fnatic did. Alarak Diablo. That is stepping up the game a lot, because all of a sudden you put next to the damage tools a lot of tools into play that can really bully Cho'Gall around. You have the Diablo. We've seen on the last map how strong Breeze is with his positioning on the hero, how much power he can get out of that Shadow Charge and the overpower itself. And now Alarak that can capitalize on any kind of stun with a good silence, a good combo. So Cho'Gall has still to be very careful here. But we have for that bot lane also now the answer that we've been looking for a bit earlier today.
The Rex are on the bottom lane, so Synergy putting it all out on the line here. And another point, just to mention, Cho'Gall becomes a little bit more difficult. First bullet, you break down that percentage right away. Luckily with Oriel having Empathic Link, you should be able to out-heal it, but still something that could really blow up Cho'Gall if you have the Diablo, Alarak engage that you're mentioning into a Malfurion route, because they have a lot of control here. Telekinesis, Diablo, route, oof, it's scary.
So there's a few things that we still have to talk about, and you just mentioned one of the points. Cursed Bullet against Cho'Gall. And if you think quickly about how this draft actually started, it was an early pick on the Greymane. So Synergy didn't simply pick a Cho'Gall and then were countered by Greymane. They knew exactly what they were up against, and they were saying, hey guys, we're fine with it.
Yeah.
We can simply head in now and make sure that we are going to play around the Cursed Bullet. But also something they banned out. They banned out Anubarak. And the reason why Anubarak got banned against Cho'Gall is because we have seen Cocoon being used a lot lately. And already before Cocoon became such a major heroic ability in any kind of setup, it was fantastic against Cho'Gall in particular because you get the 2-for-1 value.
Yeah, and they also banned out Leoric too, which is great in itself. You get a W on Cho'Gall and you just drain him of life. And it was cool because it was kind of masked there. You ban out the Leoric and it's kind of hard for Fnatic to think, okay, Cho'Gall's coming. They actually ban out the Johanna, expecting maybe a Sonya in the bottom lane, and that's why they banned out Leoric, so they could have a strong bottom lane. It's a really cool draft here from Synergy. The question is, does it pay off against a team like Fnatic? Now, Genji is the only one I am worried about here for Fnatic. What does he do against his composition? He pokes, maybe? He gets kills eventually?
He kills stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's about it, and he just kills stuff. Hopefully, he can kill stuff. That's what I'm worried about. Can he kill a Cassia? Can he get on the back lane? Can he get through the Auriel heal? And can he even help out in the lockdown for poking down a Cho'Gall or Rexxar? Or is that going to be all in the Grey main?
Now, Genji is usually picking up a lot of momentum when we are in the mid-game, when we have more team fights happening. The risk that you sometimes run with such a composition is that you get overrun in the early game, and I think this is something they can work against. But we're going into the game now. So ladies and gentlemen, Tomb of the Spider Queen, our second map in the best of 5 series, and all the way to the left once again we have Team Synergy with Neon on Gall, Sir Ice Cream on the Cassia, Sefka on Auriel, Rexxar, he's gonna be haunting that bot lane, Hydra playing the Rexxar, and Power of Dreams on Cho'Gall.
To the right, in the red, Fnatic will be having Smexy on the Malfurion. We're going to have Breeze on Diablo. Watch out for his engagements, as they'll have to be on point this match. Quacknix will be back on his Grey main. Shwimpy will be showing off the first Genji in Europe, HGC, and Wubby will be on Alrak.
Now, I have to be absolutely honest, I love Synergy's draft. I love what they are trying to do. I think Cho'Gall has a place on certain maps. This is one of them. I do worry for them because I personally feel Fnatic has way too many tools to deal with Cho'Gall in the setup. So while I like the idea that Synergy has, that thought process, I think this is the wrong map, and so far it's already not working out. Sorry, it's not the wrong map, but it's the wrong composition to play it against, but it's already starting to be a bit troublesome for Synergy as they lose Cassia early on here.
Yeah, you gotta be careful on Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's such a small map, you're so close to your turrets. If you overstep, Diablo will throw you over and throw you into the wall, and that's what happened there, especially with the sounds coming out there. We had Cassia get burned down. Now, do remember at home, we're always looking for the conversation and what you guys think about all the matches happening here at HGC. So hit us up at Heroes Esports, use the hashtag HGC, and we'll make sure to get them read live on air. Let us know what you think. Can Cho'Gall beat Genji and Grey main?
Cho'Gall is definitely the hero we are going to pay a lot of attention to, but also Grey main currently at that bottom of the map. Shwimpy on the hero. They have been experimenting with quite a few different builds up to the top. Neon on the Cho'Gall is currently trying to hunt Breeze down a bit, but this is going to be one of the things that Breeze is attempting to do. Get a good engage against Cho'Gall, go for the overpower, and then stun him into a wall so that the rest of the team can follow up.
Interesting pickup here for Shwimpy. At level 1, he picked up Agile Dismount, which means when you're mounted, you're able to jump 70% more range in terms of your jump, and you also have your cooldown reduced by 5 seconds.
It's one of the popular talents on Genji now when you're looking at the competitive scene, and most of the scrims from different teams that I've seen, it's a talent that pops up. One of the other talents that we have on the level 1 is Swift as the Wind. So it comes down to the playstyle a bit, but look out into the mid lane. This is exactly the combo we've been mentioning. Neon stunned into the corner for a second. Shwimpy trying to deliver the damage.
Shwimpy gonna be bringing it in when he can there. Watch out for him to drive by there with that mount into Agile Dismount combo. Now, bottom lane's going pretty okay overall. You're gonna see Genji consistently keep moving down there when possible to help out with that Rexxar, as he always dominates his lanes. Breeze on the right side here, looking for potentially Sefka, but watch that hope bar. Every time Neon drops in that Q, drops in that W damage, you're gonna see Sefka's bar just jump in terms of hope.
Now, watch also how Shwimpy plays on Genji. One of the problems that a lot of people that try Genji for the first time have is they are overly aggressive. A lot of what we're seeing Shwimpy and high-level players currently do with the hero is mainly use their D as a movement tool. So normally they are just not trying. The dash that we just saw here at the end happens very rarely. Usually as an escape, and sometimes when you are 100% certain you are getting a kill. The movement mostly is happening around the trade, so with a cyber agility, and then you just poke at the opponent constantly up to when you finally see an opening that you can use.
That level 1 talent really working out there for Genji too. He's actually jumped from the turning point on the south there all the way on top of Rexar. That is incredible.
Exactly. That's exactly that point why that here talent is taken, since it's such a good gap closer when you start to engage. So this is something that a lot of the teams have been trying with. But as I said, another alternative on level 1 is Swift as a win, because it also gives you the movement speed. But now the Shuriken Mastery coming in on level 4. Pretty much the standard. I don't think I have seen anybody really go for another talent here. It's definitely the dominant one at this point.
Shuriken's being picked up. Neon a little bit too far away from his team here. Sepko will be able to top him off though with that big old heal. We're moving towards level 7 right now. Start moving into the level 7 talents for both of our teams. Now, Rexar needs to be careful. Remember, he picked up Animal Husbandry at level 4, so you should be seeing him play careful to get that health bar nice and juicy for his team.
I'm really definitely looking at Breeze when it comes to countering what Synergy has. And there's that stun that we talked about. Good engage by him, but the follow-up is not able to do enough damage. So Ice Cream is having the back of his teammates, and now we see Greymane moving back since he took so much damage in that engage. Alarak still down to the bottom of the map in that fight with Rexar.
Shrimpy keeping with the poke here, stopping the turn-in from occurring. Fnatic is 1 gem away, 1 lonely gem from getting their first web weavers, while Synergy is attempting to drop their own off here, continuing to poke here on the right side. And honestly, the poke, not too bad here for Synergy. They don't mind sitting in the middle of that top there turn-in to make sure to poke when they can. However, Fnatic does sneak in 1 gem on the bottom there with Shrimpy, and we're going to have Fnatic with the first web weavers of the game.
Also on level 7, for Shrimpy on Genji, we now see Cyber Shield taken. So once that you engage with Cyber Agility, you get an extra 50 spell armor for a few seconds. Super cool talent for survivability, but I still have to say that personally, from watching a lot of these teams in scrims trying to experiment with Genji, level 7 is one of the talents where we probably have the most diversity at this point. Sometimes the perfect defense, the augmented guard is being used. Teams still trying to figure out what's best to use here for them.
We'll be coming from the side. And just to point out that level 7 talent, I like it here because it's good against Gaul. Allows you to go for the engage and really trade very effectively with your first couple of shurikens. You can also go into the double jump later on if you want to get aggressive with that and have 50% spell power for a total of 4 seconds if you work those in. So keep an eye out for that. While Fnatic and Synergy continue to face off. Really solid defense though for Synergy, it looks like. They got the decent turrets in the middle, defended top as well. The bad thing here though is Fnatic is starting to break in this bottom lane.
Down to the bottom lane, the double push is coming with the web weavers, and they're starting to pressure through. Fnatic is half a level away from level 10. Hydra needs to be a bit careful here with the defense, keeps himself in the back on the mount, but gets a stun in against Shrimpy and drops some damage in. Problem is that the fort is about to fall, and it is a big win for Fnatic. They are going to pick up level 10 in just a moment. There we have it. Shrimpy dashing out in the last second before Cho'Gall enters the field. And now we have the heroic abilities for Fnatic with the Cursed Bullet being picked up immediately on the side of Greymane.
Shrimpy says Arigato for that fort, retreats away, and notice the level 10 here, X-Strike.
Yeah, X-Strike is, of course, X-Strike is a fantastic tool, not only because you can drop a lot of damage if there's a pre-stun, which happens to be the case oftentimes with Diablo, with Alarak, some setup for Genji, but it's also a great tool that can help you to escape. And Fnatic, thanks to the level 10, gets a second turn-in. And immediately they're also moving down to the bot lane where they see an opportunity to take Hydra down. Breeze moves in, goes for the overpower. Auriel is trying to help out, drops a quick heal, and the Detainment Strike pushes them back. Great save by Synergy, making sure that Rexar doesn't fall, but they still do not have their level 10 ability here to face Fnatic now in these fights.
But it was important not to let Rexar fall there. Again, Animal Husbandry being online. That would have been reset if Genji went in for the full engage and got the kill. Now, Cursed Bullet comes out. Neon instantly will tap the well here, though. Be healed on up.
Yeah, also, we are going straight into the 10s at this point. We have an opportunity for Synergy to maybe force Fnatic's hand here. They need to defend, and they're trying to do this. Apocalypse comes out. Breeze dashed in hard, but this is a huge problem for him since he's way deep at this point and didn't get any value out of the dash.
Twisting Nether goes off, gets Breeze down to half health, but he's living for now, hoping to retreat, unless the Boars even comes out as well. The Boars slowing down everyone. X-Strike comes out for Shrimpy so he can survive and also get a little bit of damage.
Yeah, tries to survive here. Breeze, of course, getting value out of the Devil's Due. Had a quick tap at the end here. Down to the bottom lane, we see one web weaver still pushing as Hydra had to rotate into the middle, so the wall at the keep is already attacked. Wooby going up to the top, gets the combo in against Cassius. So Ice Cube, 35 gems on his part. Breeze jumps in, dashes in, drops him, and that's a kill against Cassian. 35 gems lost for Synergy.
This composition for Fnatic is so good at engaging. You have Genji going in for the dismount. He's able to jump off his horse and make sure to get in fights. You have Diablo that can jump in with the Shadow Charge. And then you have Alarak here with Deadly Charge at level 10. Cassia getting picked off. Ariel will be forced to use Aegis. She has a lot of hope available, but gets silenced. Can she live here? She does drop out the heal for now. Neon starting to fall. 34 gems. Can he get out? Here goes Breeze.
Breeze goes in for Cho'Gall and Breeze dies. Cho'Gall lives. Souls lost and unbelievable. Cho'Gall surviving, Alarak falling too. All of a sudden, Fnatic losing 2 heroes in that engage. What looked like the perfect battle for them. They drop nearly Oriel, who barely gets away, saves herself with a detainment strike. Then Cho'Gall becomes the next target. He has only a sliver of HP left and somehow survives. Sevka with heal after heal, and then it's all of a sudden Alarak and Diablo bite the dust.
With those 2 members back, Fnatic has to pull away as it's all Ogre, that push. We're going to have Neon on the top right going in for the turn, and he drops off 38 gems, and we now have Webbers pushing in. However, we saw Rexar get burned down. Animal Husbandry is now gone.
So Ice Cream trying to get those gems. Neon on Cho'Gall again needs to be careful here. But once again, Power of Dream and Neon just trying to do their best to stay alive. Level 13 talents are not there for them yet. Also, Oriel going straight into the Aegis. Again, Breeze goes deep. Aegis is out trying to save them. But here comes the Apocalypse. Cho'Gall, and he's down.
Cho'Gall falls, Ball Lightning though bouncing around here. Ice Block will be used by Smexy to stop it from proccing off. Sir Ice Cream looking for a chase here, but the range is not enough. He can't quite get to Malfurion, and meanwhile Malfurion will top off his teammates.
Also, pretty cool use of Apocalypse by Breeze. He sees the Aegis go down, he immediately uses Apocalypse. So even though Cho'Gall was saved for a moment, once he got out of the Aegis, he was instantly stunned, which opened up an opportunity for Breeze to walk in, use Overpower, push Cho'Gall back, and that led to a double kill.
Really good point there. Quacknix comes in with a Cursed Bullet, goes straight for Rexar once again. Hydra does fall. Sir Ice Cream attempting to retreat here. He does have the crown on top of him, so he gets some healing here. For Sevka, if he can work at the damage. Neon's about to charge on up and charge in. Twisting Nether connecting with multiple members. Schwimpy will use the X-Strike to retreat. Breeze hoping to get away.
Breeze is still on the retreat here. Will be starting to move in with a quick silence, trying to help his teammate out. At the same time, Schwimpy on Genji is also attempting to poke from the side. All that cover allowed Breeze on Diablo to finally move away. 13 versus 14. Here comes the combo. Cho'Gall is down. He's dead. Great move by Alarak. Genji pays with his life as he goes in a bit too deep. But we still have a 3 versus 4 situation on the map in favor of Fnatic. Synergy finally on 13 talents, but Fnatic is already looking towards 16.
Fnatic moving towards that level 16. Greymane will clear out bottom, and it looks like we are done for fighting now. That last 90 seconds was back and forth between our 2 teams. Now, as you mentioned, getting to 16 is the next big goal for Fnatic, so we should see them moving towards that. Also, 10 more gems. If they can grab it, they can get another turn in and start pushing in their opponents.
And if you look at the minimap, Synergy has only taken 1 fort, whereas Fnatic destroyed every fort of their opponent and was able to drop a few of these towers. Fnatic is looking strong and poised to take, with the next talent they will reach in a few seconds, another team fight if possible. They are trying to push in now.
Gems being dropped off here. Gonna see the lanes to push in. You want to start getting that top lane pushed if you can. Did he just mention he got pizza?
Yeah, he had pizza.
Man.
I think with pineapple because he was pretty happy about it.
We didn't get our pizza last week, by the way. David,
yeah.
I'm upset, wherever David is. I believe in Cho'Gall, says Tarvis Gaming. Hashtag HGC Blizz Heroes. We believe as well, and so does Synergy, as they are getting aggressive. Rotating the top here, looking for Wubby. Web Weavers do come out.
But the kills are not really reflecting a lot of hope into the comp, since 9 versus 4 kills on the side of Fnatic give them a huge advantage in the kill count. It's also another Web Weaver wave for Fnatic. It's the 3rd one they get. And 16 talents are, of course, making this power spike even more important for them. So somehow we're going to see a defense mustered up by their opponents, but it's not going to be easy at all. On 16, by the way, Reflect has been taken by Genji for a bit more extra damage. Once that he gets damage blocked, and here
Neon
comes the Cho'Gall kill, or does it? Oriel already used...
Attempted to save him there, the Epoch combo again. Cho'Gall had hope for a second, so did Ariel, but she wasn't able to land it.
Not only that, basically Oriel goes in and drops the Aegis, and Genji says, oh, look at that, a bullseye. Goes for the X-Strike, and the moment that Cho'Gall pops out of the Aegis, there's an Apoc and an X-Strike going on, and immediately Cho'Gall is just, he's just toast. So That just felt bad.
Poor Cho'Gall getting picked off there. And it's going to be 2 members down for each team, but Fnatic gets the upper hand, obviously. They were pushing in. Now, you did note at the very beginning of this draft that Cho'Gall, when it comes to late game, they start to get really scary, especially with the level 16 talents they can pick up here. We're going to have Cho'Gall become much more tanky.
Cho'Gall becomes a lot more tanky, that is true, but the way that Fnatic plays this now, I think it's very rough. Especially looking at Greymane with a Cursed Bullet, he can just spam this out and force Oriel to just heal and heal the entire time. It also reflects in the damage of Alarak, how well he's been playing. It's 39,000 damage for Alarak himself, and he is just getting combo after combo off, especially if he's patient and waits for Breeze to start the engage. And Breeze, with the increased Shadow Charge range on level 4, is always able to make these long-range engages happen. And now with Domination taken on level 16, he has so many more tools against Cho'Gall and Synergy in general.
Schwimpy, though, is on Oriel on the back left here. Breeze finally getting low here. Twisting the Other does come out. Breeze finally falls. We'll have to use his souls here to come back to life. Schwimpy does move in, tries to get some damage on Neon, but it won't be enough. And Synergy, for the first time here, are on an aggressive push.
That was a really good kill by Synergy. Yes, Diablo is immediately back, but he lost all of his souls, and that is huge. Diablo heavily relies on these souls, especially since Breeze also specced into it with the Devil's Due, so now his self-sustain is not going to be as strong. This is definitely a good opportunity for Synergy to make something happen here. They're pushing through the mid lane, they dropped the fort, they have the Web Weaver up at the top, finally defeated as Alarak took it down, but Fnatic is looking for a possible engage as Schwimpy started to hop over the wall, Cyber Agility being used, and Schwimpy himself needs to be very cautious. Cho'Gall is also in trouble, very low in HP. Good combo of Alarak, and the APOC comes in afterwards.
And 2 just get burned down. Cho'Gall is left by himself with no Oriel around. He is gonna fall. The Ogre is down. Rexar, the half-Ogre, is attempting to retreat, and looks like he will get away. But Fnatic opens up the map and move in towards a keep.
Synergy overstayed in this situation. They were thinking they could get more out of it and then realized we have to move back, especially with Cho'Gall dropping low, and that retreat came too late. Fnatic now pushes in and takes the keep, but they want more than that. They're close to level 20 and Synergy is down for another 20 seconds. It looks like Fnatic wants the core. They want the 2-0.
They want to move in here. They do have a Greymane. The armor does fall down to 100%. 10 more seconds before Cassie and Oriel do spawn. Hydra gets caught here on the right side. He will fake his death. Fnatic more than aware that he's alive, though. They turn around and kill him off. The core continues to fall. Cassia just spawns, but it's 20% core already. This is going to be GG. Fnatic takes a 2-0 lead.
GG as Fnatic takes the victory. The 2-0 lead secured. Great play by them. First time Genji played in competitive against the Cho'Gall composition on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Genji successful here, and Cho'Gall, a good thought, a good idea against the wrong composition.
Yeah, just didn't quite work out as well as they would like. I like the idea of getting rid of a new Brack and Leework, and you're really pinching out, of course, the healers once Malfurion gets picked up. You don't think a Karazine's going to carry away, so it looks like Cho'Gall could work with Ariel, but it just does not pay off. We're going to get ready for game number 3. We'll see if Fnatic can end us with a 3-0, or if Synergy will start the fight.
The swarm is eternal.